temporarily from the White Mountains in the Shire. This is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, June 25th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.72 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,257 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,606. Antiwar.com reports the Pentagon is facing a flurry of inquiries from high-ranking senators from both parties following an Associated Press story that revealed that U.S. soldiers were involved in the interrogation of detainees at sites in Yemen where torture of detainees was widespread. The AP article quoted Pentagon officials confirming that this was the case, but claiming that the U.S. soldiers weren't directly involved in the torture or even necessarily personally aware of the fact that the detainees were tortured by UAE forces ahead of their interrogation by Americans. Senators were quick to point out that doesn't make the U.S. involvement any more legal, with Senators John McCain and Jack Reed both calling the report deeply disturbing and urging Defense Secretary James Mattis to investigate the matter to provide more details. Senator Patrick Leahy noted that beyond the legal question of the Pentagon's involvement, the fact that the torturers were from the United Arab Emirates could mean that the continued provisions of U.S. support for them would violate a law forbidding funding to known human rights violators. Senator Ron Wyden said he was particularly troubled by the Pentagon's legalistic response to the incident, saying that the bar for the United States is higher than torture is okay if we don't see it.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports the American Civil Liberties Union asked a federal judge on Saturday to expand an order that temporarily blocks the deportation of 114 Iraqis in Michigan to cover Iraqis nationwide. The advocacy group filed an amended complaint seeking to keep the Immigration and Customs Enforcement from deporting Iraqis from anywhere in the United States while a federal judge weighs the case of the Iraqis in Michigan. U.S. District Judge Mark Goldsmith on Thursday ordered a stay in the Michigan Iraqis deportation for at least 2 weeks while he decides whether he has jurisdiction. The ACLU, which has sued to block the Michigan deportations, asked Goldsmith to rule by Monday on expanding his order to cover more than 1,400 Iraqis facing expulsion across the United States. The immigration agency has indicated it might start those deportations as soon as Tuesday, according to the ACLU. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement spokeswoman Jillian Christensen said the agency was reviewing the judge's order. She said via email, the agency intends to comply with the terms of the order while determining the appropriate next steps. The DOJ did not respond to a request for comment. The ACLU said in its filing that those being deported could face persecution or torture because many were Chaldean Catholics or Iraqi Kurds, and that both groups were recognized as targets of ill treatment in Iraq. The ACLU also filed a motion asking the judge to extend his order nationwide to ensure that people who could face persecution, torture, or death in Iraq are not deported.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
UPI reports Google announced it will no longer scan the contents of Gmail messages in order to tailor advertising to customers. The tech company announced the change on Friday in a blog post. It will go into effect later in the year. Google's G Suite email for business already does not scan message content to generate ads, but the free Gmail is now going to follow suit. Instead, ads will be generated based on details taken from other sources, including YouTube videos that the user watches. Alphabet announced that Google still plans to scan emails in order to gather information, not to be used in targeted advertising. A blog post said G Suite customers and free consumer Gmail users can remain confident that Google will keep privacy and security paramount as we continue to innovate. Gmail users can check the settings page to opt out of targeted advertising. Gmail has more than 1.2 billion users worldwide. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.